Alright, so now that I have the alignment tool and I looked some things over, now that I know it's actually straight and true and calibrated, whatever, I believe I figured out the problem. So I took the alignment tool and we'll pretend these pulleys are in the car, okay? So now let's say that they were true, okay? I was on a different pulley here. Say I was on a different pulley with this laser. What it's doing is, instead of following the line directly, it's kind of doing this number across as I roll it. So as I roll it like this, instead of following the line straight, it's going diagonally instead of straight like this. Okay, so it's kind of doing this number. Of course, it's super gradual, like as I'm going, say it's on one side of the rib, it'll get down to over here and then it'll be on the other side of the rib. And what that tells me is that there's a crooked bracket. So I started looking at some things, and right there, you see that? So that is the timing cover. Now that's an aftermarket timing cover. And what I believe is happening is that little thing sticking out there is hitting the power steering alternator assembly there. And I think that because of that, it's pushing this end out just a little bit, okay? And when it does that, it tips that pulley and the alternator pulley, which is way up on top. So I think that is my problem. I am going to take that bracket off, and I'm going to grind that down to get it as straight as possible, or make sure I have plenty of clearance so it doesn't hit that, and then I will put it back together. I clearanced it once before, but apparently I don't think I did it enough. I must have thought I had it clear enough, but maybe not. So I'm going to go ahead and take the time to take that apart. So, I did hog out this piece here like I had assumed, but I do see it is still contacting. So I am going to take a quick moment here and hog it out a little bit more, put it back together, I guess. I'm going to take a look at this piece here quick. Oh yeah, it was definitely against that. So yeah, that might be playing a part in that. I'm going to go ahead and finish messing with that, and we should be set. I do know Alright, so you can see I took this file and I scrubbed this quite a bit. I removed 106 thousandths of an inch in total. And that is, well, 108, close enough. 2 thousandths isn't something you're going to notice. But it is a fairly decent amount of material. I don't know if you can see that or not there. Oh, there we go. Now you can see how big I am. So, let's see. What do we got? Do I got a change? I got a key. We can use a key. So here's a typical key, right? So that's a pretty fair amount of material. It's sloppy in there. That's a lot of material to have removed. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to install is a kit from ECS, and this should also help with the belt alignment. It's for the superchargers, okay? I think I got the belt straight now, but I'm still going to put this on because it's way more convenient to do with the cradle out of the way. Okay, so I spent the last couple minutes trying to put this ECS kit on, and this has an LSX block, okay? It also has Comp Cam's timing cover that increases clearance for the timing chain, the double roller timing chain, and the bigger pump and everything else, so I didn't have to sit there and waste my time clearancing the timing cover. Now, I want to put this bracket on. This is the base bracket that goes underneath the tensioner. This is where the big tensioner bolts to, and how it sits in its place. It's got a little pedestal that comes off, etc. This thing is supposed to go right here. See that? It's hitting this timing cover hardcore, and even if it wasn't there, I can't go this way. I can't fit it anywhere on there. So I don't know what's going on here, but it does not work. So we're gonna get a hold of ECS and see what they suggest, because it's supposed to work, and obviously it's not going to. It's kind of disappointing because I have it apart right now, and I want to get this car put together. It's been in the shop for far too long, and I need to get it together and out of here. I got too many other things to do. So I'm going to contact the customer, see what he wants to do about it. I may just put the car together as is, or who knows. Nothing with this car seems to go well. Just kind of the way some cars are. Some cars, nothing works properly no matter what you do. Other cars, everything works great. And some are just kind of the average in between. But this is one of those that fights me every inch of the way. It fights me, so oh well. So I ended up having to replace the transmission cooler line because it got kinked while I was trying to tweak it to make clearance. And that's what you're just seeing me do. And since I did that, I was able to tweak the new line, the replacement, and get it a lot closer to where it needs to be. And so now I think I can get it to clear the belts nice and good. But I definitely had to replace it. good news is the belt did not jump. So grinding down that bracket that was contacting the timing cover just by that little bit, it took care of the problem. However, I do notice one thing. I have the belt set in the middle right now. I did that so that I could see if it would move front or back, you know, which way it would go if it was going to go anywhere. It did not move. However, the idler pulley that's down there, it's a style that's kind of like this, right? So the belt rides in the middle of it, and you know, if the belt's going around, it'd be like that. It's all the way over against one edge, and that is not part of the pulley kit. So what I need to do is I need to pull that off and then put a couple washers behind it to bring it out. Since the belt is on the center area, before I had it all the way back, but since the belt's on the center, I'm going to center the pulley with washers to make it so that it's centered with the belt. That way, if he does go to the 10 rib belt, or when he does go to the 10 rib belt, it won't be an issue as far as that idler goes. So here's that idler. See how it's like this? It was sitting all the way over on the one side. But what I do, you see I got one in here already. I had this one in there already, and I just got to shim it out to make up so that it pulls it outward and gets it away from the edge there. That way it rides as close to the middle as possible. I think 2 washers should be just enough. Okay, so there's the washers, 2 of them. It's about a rib and a half worth of material. And since it was against the edge, and I wanted it in the center, and I was 1 rib on each side, I'm going to go to 2 because it'll bring me a little bit more than a rib. Hopefully that'll give me some clearance for the part that was against it, and then move it over. And then hopefully the belt doesn't jump once it's attached. Most certainly not staying where it should yet. That is disappointing. I don't like it at all. Possibility it's related to the power steering pulley. I might try and pull that in a little bit. Hopefully I can move that thing just enough, I guess. Oh my gosh, this car is killing me. Alright, at this point in the video, I was, again, a little frustrated, but after I looked some things over, I realized it wasn't as big of a deal as I thought. So originally I was thinking, you know, oh great, the thing's jumping again. After several fire-ups and kills, it dawned on me that there's a huge span. I realized that it wasn't such a big deal when I saw the amount of length between the balancer itself and the tensioner. One of the things I had to consider was the fact that the balancer that is in there now is much, much bigger diameter than the original balancer. And so with that, it moves the belt position a little bit differently and brings it out farther before it goes up to the tensioner itself. And what I noticed is happening is that belt is bouncing quite a bit at the higher RPMs. So I think that might have something to do with it, because the belt is kind of trying to, it doesn't know where it wants to be. So I'm going to have to look into maybe finding some form of an idler or something to put between the two. Since the ECS kit did not work, I'm probably going to have to solve it another way. And I'm going to look into that a little bit more tomorrow and see if I can't figure out what I need to do to get that thing to sit properly. But one thing I have to do is get this guy's car so that it runs worth a dang. The tune is not even completed yet. I don't know if you noticed, but after starting it, it runs a little funky. And some of that has to do with it's throwing a cam code, which might have to do with the belt ripping off the wire. I had to kind of patch things up, and I thought I had it good enough, but maybe there's a bent pin or something, damaged pin or something of that nature when I put it back together. So I'm going to look into that. I'm also going to look into the mass airflow code, but that might be tune related. I still have to dig into quite a few things. So there will be another video to finish this thing up, and if you like what you see, be sure to hit the little like button, like, share, subscribe. I will put the next video up here, and have a great evening, day, whatever time of the day it is for you when you're watching this. Thanks for watching.